Hello, I'm Abby, mum of 3-year-old Willow. Welcome to my channel, The Unofficial Guide to Positive Parenting. On this channel, I give tips and advice to like-minded parents, all relating to the positive or gentle parenting approach. So this video is actually a follow-on from a video that I made last week, which was why the naughty step doesn't work. And in that video, I said that I'd give alternative, age-appropriate solutions. But if you did want to check out the naughty step video, I'll put a link on the screen and I'll also put a link in the description of this video. So just to recap, the naughty step for me seems like a bit of a short-term solution that doesn't teach our kids anything worthwhile, like how to regulate their emotions. Personally, I think it's mildly neglectful and that we should be focusing on the solutions that promote our long-term goals, which is to raise emotionally intelligent and empathetic children. Every child is different, so my tips and advice are just guidelines that you can go by when deciding how to approach each individual situation with your child. So, what are the alternative solutions? So if you have a child who is under 3 and they're having a tantrum, throwing things around, or just generally misbehaving, then my first bit of advice to you is to obviously move any objects from them or around you that could cause any harm to you or them. And then take them into a different or a new environment, like a different room, and try and redirect their attention to a new activity. And then create a choice for them to empower them and make them feel like they are in charge. So maybe pick up 2 toys and ask them which one they want to play with. And then play with them and give them your full undistracted attention for a little while until you notice that they're calmer and they feel less agitated. If they're in full tantrum mode and they seem uncontrollable, unconsolable, then put them into a safe environment and make sure that you stay with them and that you remain calm, you show them empathy, you try to let them know that you understand that they're feeling upset, and offer cuddles. It's okay if they don't want to come and give you a cuddle straight away, but just be very present in the moment with them so that they feel safe. So my number one advice for kids over the age of 3, and probably actually for a lot of kids under the age of 3 as well, is to keep that attention bucket full. Because a lot of the time kids play up because they want attention, and whether that be positive or negative attention, any attention is better than no attention at all. So just make sure throughout the day that you're taking 10 to 15 minutes at a time where you put your phone on silent or put your phone in the other room and you sit with them and give them your full undistracted attention. Be really mindful about exactly what you're doing with them, that you're answering them, that you're paying attention to them, basically, because that is what is going, that was what to them feels like real attention. And I know it feels like throughout the day you're spending a lot of time with your child whilst you're tidying up, or you're hanging out the washing whilst they're playing in the garden, but that's not your full attention. Unfortunately, that isn't going to fill up their attention bucket. And I know you can't do this all day long because we've all got busy lives, but if you start to see that they're starting to look agitated, or you notice that they've been playing on their own for a long time and you feel like any moment now they're going to come and start pestering you for something, then maybe just take the time before the tantrum or the misbehaviour happens. Just say, "Oh, are you okay?" and just sit with them and play with their cars or play with the Lego. Just give them that time that they deserve. So that is my first tip to preventing tantrums and misbehaviour. So the first one is to pre-warn your child. So giving your kid a heads up to finish what they're doing and prepare for what is next is really important, because some kids really don't cope well with sudden change. So for example, Willow, in 5 minutes we're going to stop playing and tidy up and get ready for bed, okay? So make sure that you're reasonable with your requests. So for example, if I was to ask Willow to tidy up a big room full of her toys on her own, that might seem or be a little bit overwhelming for her. So instead, I would say to her, "Okay, Willow, come on, Mummy's going to help you tidy up now." So the third step is give them choices. It's always good to offer a child choices to empower them and make them feel like they're in control. So for example, I could say to Willow, "Would you like to tidy up the Lego or the Playmobil?" So the next step is to clarify consequences. So if your child doesn't comply within a set time, and obviously dependent on their age and the situation, then you need to outline what the consequences are going to be. So for example, if Willow wanted to go and play in the garden, but I've asked her to tidy up her toys in the living room before we change locations, and she doesn't want to do that, then obviously the consequence for her is that she's not going to be allowed out in the garden. Or if Willow has decided that she's not going to help tidy up her toys in the evening, I would say to her, well, if you don't help tidy up your toys, then you'll lose the privilege of watching your bedtime TV. But make sure that you give them time and that you step back from the situation and always remain calm, so that you give them time to consider making the right decision. And if they still don't cooperate, then calmly impose the stated consequence, and always be consistent so that your kids know that you always mean what you say. Then just move on without holding any grudges and let them start afresh next time. To me, disciplining is simply teaching your little person in training how to act and behave appropriately. So be calm, set boundaries, be firm, but be fair. And finally, don't forget to catch your children being good. And when they're following the rules, give them a lot of praise and just show your appreciation towards them. And it's important to understand that all kids are uncooperative at times. However, professional help is out there if you feel like your child's defiance is so intense that it's stopping them from creating bonds with family members, teachers, and friends. If you've made it all the way to this part of the video, then thank you for sticking with it, and I hope that some of my tips and advice have been helpful to you. The funny thing about kids is they're the reason that we lose it, but they're also the reason that we hold it all together. We'll see you next time.